Alright, so in this video, you're gonna learn how to map um, correctly using multi-time frame analysis. Like you'll be able to map out all the multi-time frames we use. So these are the time frames we map. So I'm going to write them out. Where we try to map our market structure. We do that on the monthly. Then we do it on the weekly next. Then next to daily, next to 4 hour. Okay, these are the time frames that we love to map, and that helps us understand the market direction and what the market is doing. Okay, so I'll show you how to the first thing. So when mapping the monthly, there are certain rules you need to follow. So when mapping the monthly, since the monthly is a kind of big, very big time frame, so you have to be very, very careful. And first things first, number one, use your eyes. Sorry. Let me do this. Is use your eyes to understand order flow. So the first thing to map your market structure currently on the monthly chart is to use your eyes to understand the market order flow, and I'll show you how to do that in real time. Okay, I'll show you how to do that in real time. And the second step is to do what? Mark visible highs and lows. Mark visible highs and lows in that direction. That's what we do on number 2. Okay, so the next thing we go to the monthly charts. Okay, that's the next thing we do. We go to the weekly chart. So the next thing we go to the weekly chart. So what do you do on the weekly charts? Let's see. So in weekly chart now, you observe the most recent dealing range in the monthly and identify highs and lows. You observe the most recent dealing range in the monthly chart and identify the trend and structure. Okay, that's like number 2. Number 3, that's like number 1. Sorry, so let's do number 2. Number 2, mark visible highs and lows with a black line. Okay, I forgot to add in that direction, of the trend. Okay, alright, with dark yellow line. So the same thing we do on the daily. So on the daily we do exactly the same thing, same with the 4 hours. So we just keep replicating what we did on the weekly and we do it on the daily again. Okay, and we do that again. So the same thing we keep doing even on the 4 hours. So but let's just focus on what we have on the monthly. So what do we do on the monthly? So let's see the monthly chart. Okay, the monthly chart. So for instance, if this is the monthly chart, let's not look at real life, let's look at how it is here. So for example, if this is the monthly chart is like this, is like this, is like this, is like this. And then for instance, so you focus on the most recent structure first. Okay, what's our first rule? You use your eyes to understand the order flow. So how do you use your eyes to understand the order flow? You must first of all look at the most recent activity, what the market is doing recently. Then look at the order flow. What's the market doing? It's going up. As you can see, it's creating higher highs and higher lows. So you use dark yellow line to mark up what? Use dark yellow line to mark up the highs and lows. Okay, the highs and lows. Okay, very simple. And then what do you do next? Number 2, mark visible highs and lows in that direction with dark yellow line. That's what we have done. That's complete. So it means the next thing we need to go to is what? Weekly chart. So now all of this weekly all of this chart on the weekly is going to be a bit expanded like this. It's going to be a bit expanded like this on the weekly chart because the weekly chart is a smaller time frame. Okay, basically deleted it. So it's going to be expanded like this because the weekly chart is a smaller time frame than the monthly. So all those your orange lines will still be very visible, very much visible. Okay, will still be very much visible, very much visible, very much visible. So what are you gonna do? So you're going to look at, let's see what they say we should do. So on the weekly, say you observe the most recent dealing range in the monthly chart and identify the trend and structure. Now where is the most recent dealing range on this my monthly charts that I drew, like the bigger version of it that I showed on the weekly? The most recent dealing range is this high and this low. So you want to look for the price action going in between this place. You want to see if the market is in a downtrend or the market is in an uptrend or downtrend, an uptrend, or any of these things that happen within this range. So that's what you want to identify. Where is it going to? So let's read it again. He said, observe the recent dealing range in the monthly chart and identify the trend and structure. So we can see in this case the trend and structure is what is downtrend inside that dealing range between this high and this low. It's actually going down. So number 2 said mark visible highs and lows with a black line in that direction of the trend. Okay, so in the weekly chart I like using a black line. So what you're gonna do right here is what I'm gonna do here is using a black line to mark all of this. So you're gonna make this black. So you use a black line to make sure all of this we mark the lows correctly. We mark the lows correctly. You see that? Mark the lows correctly. That's just all, because I'm able to mark the lows correctly because I know that this is a downtrend. Okay, I know that this is a downtrend and I have to be clear and know the trend you're doing. So it's all going down. Are you going to mark highs? Yes, the highs are led to this lows. You can mark all of them if you want also. But me in a downtrend, I like paying attention to just lows more. So have you answered the question? Yes, mark visible highs and lows with the black line in that direction of the trend. Yes, of course we have done it. Now if you check, daily is repeating the same instruction. 4 hours also repeat the same instruction. So on daily, every of these places you mark will be very big on daily. Okay, see this whole thing you marked is going to be very 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 big on daily because daily is a smaller time frame, and the same thing you did there, that's what you still do there. Let's assume if you find out that these are the daily is just like what I drew. So your duty is that you've been able to find the big picture, which is the black lines this time. Okay, the black lines this time that you see everywhere now is now more like the big picture. Okay, because sorry, because you are going lower now and it's now making even more sense. So this is the high, and this is a low, and this is the most recent daily range. So we have to understand the price action that goes on inside, because that's going to be a daily price action. So whatever price action that goes on inside, we want to actually study it, and that's all. We want to just study inside what is going on inside there, right? So remember, all of this is going to be dressed in a red line. All of these highs and lows, high and lows, red lines, okay? And you mark them with the red lines like this. Make it red, make it red, mark them with the red line like this, no, and then the red line. That's just all. Like, okay, just mark them with the red line. So that's exactly what you still do on your 4 hours. You go and choose the most recent dealing range of the red line, high and low, and you guys start marking your 4 hour structures inside. Okay, so in the next video you're going to be learning how to identify highs and lows across this time frame. Not to know that, okay, this is a weekly high. Why is this a weekly high? What constitutes of it for it to be called a weekly high, and the rest of them. So you're going to see the next video course. Yes, so let's get right into it. And not just that, you also get a full example about how to trade this with live pairs like EURUSD, GBPUSD, USD CAN, and the rest of them. Okay, so see you in the next video. Mark obvious highs and lows on the monthly okay. That's the first step. I'll put it as number 1. And number 2, find mitigated POIs, mitigated OBs or FVG or rejection block. Find mitigated OBs, FVG or rejection block or rated liquidity. Okay, mark the new highs and lows that formed after the mitigation. So this is your first 3 steps. Okay, mark obvious highs and lows on the monthly. Find mitigated OBs or FVG or rejection block or rated liquidity. Mark the new highs and lows that formed after the mitigation. So that's what you're going to focus on. So we were marking the obvious highs and lows on the monthly. We're going to use color purple. Why color purple? So that we can easily differentiate it. Now this is my EURUSD monthly charts. Obvious highs and lows that are very recent, something very obvious. So I'm obviously saying that, okay, we have this high. I'm going to use purple, and also this low here, and also this low here. It's very, very easy to see, right? So what's the next on this structure? Find mitigated OBs or FVG or resistant blocks. So I have to find any of these POIs are mitigated. So I can see that we have another block here. So why am I choosing that? This is a small candle, smallest candle for this drop. So it's okay to be another block. if you don't want to set another block, then you can consider the liquidity rate here. That's going to be with the blue. You know, it's part of the rule. Every other blocks or liquidity range. Where is it? Okay. Every other block, rejection blocks or liquidity range. That's, to me, that's also a liquidity range too. So it's very important. So after that, the third one is start marking the highs and lows that form after the mitigation. So the highs and lows are formed. This is a high, this is a low. The next low that form after it, I'm going to put it in yellow color. So this is the mitigation inside that other block, and this is the next low that was formed. You can see these are the most important things, highs and low, you need on Euro USD. So you'll be able to mark your monthly your monthly charts very perfectly. Okay. So what do? You go to the weekly. Now you are in the weekly, so you're going to mark your what? The weekly charts. You're going to always look for that mitigation. So your weekly charts, you repeat the same process. I want to look if there's any form of mitigation or something that has happened. Like this is another block, the last smallest candle before the drop. If I extend the price has mitigated it, so the highs and lows are formed after that. It's going to be very easy for you to identify. And I like identifying my weekly structures in black. So mark a high, a low. See price kept going lower and lower, as you can see. And now some of you like marking this is a low, this is a low, this is a high that caused a low, this is a low, this is the high that caused it. Some of you like marking highs and lows together. Okay, which is also good. So now we are in between this low and this high. So go to the daily, repeat the same process. Okay, so looking at the daily, do you see any point of interest price reacting from or anything? Well, what you notice is that there is nothing, there is something like that, which was this. Okay, on the weekly time frame, so price it, price broke here, we traced to here, then further on view. After that, the highs and lows are forming is very straightforward to mark daily with red. Okay, after this is the high that first formed, then we formed this low, and we pulled up, we formed this one. Now we have this one. Now we have this. You can see we have this low here, and then we have this low here. You see that? Very simple. This low was caused by this high, so this is where a change of character kind of happened. Okay, but that's okay. No, that's too far. This is where the change of character happened because we made this low, we pulled back, then we broke it here. So this is low high that led to it. But here the change of character happened. So price now has been bullish for a long while. Okay, so that is daily time frame. So let's see 4-hour time frame. So now based on 4-hour time frame, we'll start marking the internal 4-hour, the structures of the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so as you can see, start marking areas like this with green. Okay, all these imports that we saw on the daily on the 4 hours is going to be something. So mark those areas so you can see them. Those big areas. Nice one on the 4 hours. Okay, as you can see on the 4 hours, other nice structures too, like this. So this is Euro USD for you. Very simple and straightforward. As I'm marking it, did you see? Okay, so if you check the daily, you can see how it's simple. Follow the same principles. Okay, so let's move on to another pair. Right, so the same formula goes for GBPUSD too. We are on the monthly chart, so we have to mark obvious highs and lows up. It's very obvious to see. So we have highs here, make it that color, and then we have lows here. Alright, so we have been able to mark obvious highs and lows on the monthly. The next is going, checking a mitigated point of interest. You can see early did not really enter this one. But then you can see price got into this POI and even failed it slightly. And how do you identify your high down? High down. Even that feeling is slightly, price has not been able to do change of character to the downside. Price has still been trading up, you can see. So what do we do? From that mitigation, we have our full this thing. So that's a high, and then you can choose any low, and then that's just how it is. So choose a high, choose a low, and then we are good. So go to work weekly, and you can see what it is. So what do? You look for uh the point of interest here, like this. See, just like that. So this is your weekly chart. So after price mitigated here, what is the structure looking like right now? Gonna make it black first, okay? So yeah, you know, so you can see this is a weekly chart and we work with black line. So after the mitigation, we made this high, we pull back, created this high. So try to mark this low that led to this, and then this to this, and then this to this. Okay, so this is your weekly time frame and it makes a lot of sense. So let's continue to daily. So on daily, do you have any mitigated or whatever POI on the daily from GBPUSD? Do we have? So we have liquidity sweep here. Okay. So from that liquidity sweep, we now start having some structures here that are very clear to see and understand. After that, say having breakdown, and then we'll make it red. Okay. Make it red. So you can see after this, every new low that forms in is actually new structure. So just see how the daily chart is high, 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 high. Okay. So what's next? We're going to look into the further. Now we're on the daily charts and we're on the 4 hour charts, and you've noticed something. You notice that we are having all these lows, and now if you look at the daily, it's very easy for you to call all these things lows, 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 but many of them are not lows. Okay, so this is why many of them are not lows. Remember the principle: you would have to have a 4 hours break of structure or chop, the case we call it, before any of these lows are established. This did not happen here. For this low to be red, price needs to travel to break this. Since it did not happen, that will remain green. Okay, so here the same thing. Here price is supposed to break this for college red, but if not, what did not happen, it's supposed to remain green. So here it's gonna remain red because yes, of course, this is supposed to be green. Okay, and then this high led to the break of this, and then this low led to the break of this. So yes, it's supposed to be red, and so yes, so we have had a new high. This is not a high. This does not show any confirmation on 15 minutes I did a chop, so it's not a high, but this is a high. Okay, as you can see, the 4 hour chart looking very, very easy to understand on GBPUSD. Very, very simple and easy to understand. See you in the next video, guys. We have this high, we have these lows. Okay, so what's the next step? Look for any mitigated point of interest and then start marking the highs and lows from there. So mitigated point of interest, we have FG here, but I think that FG was filled, so I'm going to use liquidity range. Okay, Continuing is the POI that was used there. Okay, so not as much as you have been able to do that, now start marking highs and lows from it. This is the mitigation week. Start from there. Make this yellow. Then this is a new high to mark our highs and lows too. Okay, so now this is exactly the monthly yellow highs and lows. So we'll go to the weekly. In between that yellow highs and lows, we'll find what's So when you go to the weekly, you find out that price just enter another block right now in between this and this. So it means new highs and lows will start forming from here. If I put this as weekly, my weekly is black. So new highs and lows start forming after this mitigation. That's how to do it properly. Okay, so these are highs. Where are the lows that cause them? This low costs this high. This low costs this high. Okay, so what do we do next? We go towards daily time frame to see what's in between this weekly black and black. So what you can see right here is, let's find a mitigation when mitigation has happened before first, where there was a sweep or something. So there was a raid here, and there was a raid here. So price was supposed to start going higher, and then what happened? So that raid said for me all of this. This is daily, so it's gonna be red line. So instead of having this high here, all of that, right? And this one too, and this one too, and all this is a new highs that forming after this mitigation. Okay, you can see price broke this level, so we say coming down again, but this is structure for the daily time frame for DXY. Okay, and if you go to the 4 hours, let's see how it looks like. So the 4 hours is very simple to understand, very simple. See price just trending higher, and then as you can see, this is a 4 hour structure. So this high that was not marked as daily high is a 4 hour structure, because this high led to 15 minutes choke. But it cannot be called a daily high because it did not lead to 4 hour choke. Okay, that's how it works. So this so these are my 4 hour structures. These green lines you see right here, they're just my 4 hour structures. As you can see, very clean and neat. Okay, if you're watching this, do the exercises and practice. Okay, so let's do it for another pair. Let's do it for gold. Let's do it for gold in the next video. All right, so this is gold on the monthly chart. So let's start. So the first principle, you identify very obvious highs and lows. So we have this. So you can see this high is just very obvious around. So you can also see this high is so obvious above here. So and this low is also obvious here. So these are the most easiest ways to find the most obvious highs and lows. So what's next? We're going to find out a POI that has been mitigated. So this is an order block here. So if you look deeply, you will see that it's in a small doji before you push to the upside, and the price is reacting from. Okay, so and you see that price is inside. So the first time price got inside, which is this, what happened? Repeatedly high. We'll make it yellow. Repeatedly high, and this is a low that led to it, and then this high is also yellow, and then just a low. Okay, so once the mitigation has happened, the next high and low around, you start marking them. So now we're gonna be focused on, because we still need to mark also another one here. We're going to be focused on the weekly now and see how we can get weekly structures inside the yellow boundaries here. So and you might be wondering, why is this place so straight? Why did I not mark any high here? Remember, this for monthly to make sense, then at least on the daily there's a change of character before we can say okay, very high there or something. So if you go to 15 minutes, no, weekly, sorry. If you go to weekly charts, so you're going to mark the structures once again on the weekly chart. Okay. So what do? Look for where price has been mitigated and mitigated something one way or the other. If you go back to your old time frame on the monthly, okay, you find out that this is not a high on the monthly, but it's a high on the weekly. So now you're on the weekly chart, you're gonna find out weekly highs and lows. So where is that POI that price mitigated? So if you look at it carefully, you see that this is the movement. This reconstruction return to POI and it fails to return and it's going up. Okay, so what you should do is that POI that you've seen, which is a sweep, okay, which is a liquidity sweep higher. So what you do is you actually mark the highs and lows that comes out from it that time, and that's gonna be which color? Black. So as you can see, this is it. This is a weekly chart. This is a sweep. This is a POI. I already done that one. This is it. Okay, new high. Alright, so you can see the lows, the high, the high, the high, literally. Okay, so is this a weekly high or not? This would most likely be a weekly high. Okay, most likely. So we'll go to the lower time frame. So between the weekly time frame, the low and the high, yeah, it's simply um what you're going to look at on the daily as it's performing. Let's see. So on the daily, the first rule, look for a point of interest that is being mitigated already, so that you can understand it better. So we look for a POI. So let's look deeply. So we have our what's weekly high here. So I would have called this a weekly high back then, but it did not lead to any break of structure. So I'll just leave it as a daily high, make it red. Okay, not lead to any lower daily break of structure. It didn't. So I'll just leave that as red. So let's see the POI that price entered into. That's the hack. Okay, let's look at it. So there's an order block here. Okay, so after price enter the order block, what happened? This is gonna be your low. Okay, that's gonna be your low, and then look at it. We have price breaking through this. Okay, can you see? Can you see this? So we are what? This is our daily time frame. So we'll make it red. Okay, so make it red. As you can see, makes so much sense. Okay, now what about the 4 hour? So this is the 4 hour chart. So look for price mitigating something first, and then from there we start marking our new highs and lows on the 4 hour chart. It's very simple. Okay, so how are you going to? Okay, so the PI on 4 hours is this fair value gap here. Remove that border and to remove this add this fair value appears like a POI and price goes into it, which is as you can see price goes right into it, which we're going to start marking from our highs and lows right now. So you have to use green for this, and you have to use all of this here. As you can see, this high led to this low, and the price supersedes it. Look at it. And this is another one. As you can see, this is another 4-hour high. Okay, you can see it's very well correct and easy to understand. The first rule on the monthly, you mark obvious charts, highs and lows, and then you mark point of interest, and then the next you start looking for the new system that's going to form after price and that point of interest. This makes lots of sense and it's easier for you to understand. So all you have to do is practice, 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 man. Submit your tutor. Okay, so you see in the next one.